Hey there, we are live from Midtown Comics. I'm Henry, and today we have Amy Reeder and Brandon Montclair stopping by and saying hey. So, this was a big week for you guys. You had a really cool release coming out. You had the return of Rocket Girl this week.
Yep, that's right. It's
Uh,
pretty awesome.
yeah, are you guys excited to have Rocket Girl back on the stands?
Definitely. Yeah, it's been a little bit too long, but now we've got 8, 9, and 5. 8, 9, and 5. 8, 9, and 10 coming out in close succession.
We also have 5 done, also.
And 5 is done, that's true.
Well,
Bonus.
it is a time travel story,
Right.
so it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Amy just spoiled it. Except
Yeah.
the 10, you go back to 5.
That's going to really scramble people's heads.
Yeah.
So, for people who maybe are unfamiliar with Rocket Girl and are maybe looking to jump in, can you tell them a little bit about what Rocket Girl is all about?
Yeah, she's a teenage cop from the future who goes back in time to the 80s to solve a mystery. And it's kind of an 80s period piece, most of it. But the twist is, and this isn't really a spoiler, is that the future she comes is an alternate version of today, right? So, and the kind of inspiration for that was 80s sci-fi movies, whether it's something fun like Back to the Future 2 or Terminator or anything like that. By 2013, which is when this starts, or in 2017, if it's today, we're supposed to have flying cars and jetpacks and teen police and laser guns. And why didn't we get that?
Why not?
We're all horribly disappointed now as a result.
Where's my
Yeah.
jetpack, right?
Now you only have Rocket Girl to rely on to keep you happy.
Yeah.
How it could have been and should have been.
So it's a really cool series. I mean, it's really fun. It's great because, I mean, I really like it because it's got a different feel than a lot of other books because it's got a little bit of everything. It's got like the period piece aspect, but it's a little bit more high concept sci-fi because you've got the time travel element. I'm a sucker for time travel. What made you guys, kind of come up with the idea when you were first creating it?
Well, that is a very weird, awkward story, but basically it started with a name, which is the order you're really not supposed to go in.
Okay.
Yeah, we just, Brandon was telling me how you can't just start with a cool name and then come up with something. And he used Rocket Girl as an example. And I was like, what's Rocket Girl? Because I wasn't listening. And so he was like, no, but I'm trying to say that's my point and stuff. And I was like, no, we have to do Rocket Girl. What is Rocket Girl?
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
I
say,
insisted on doing Rocket Girl, and then he
Yeah.
had to come up with a story.
Yeah, I think I was trying to explain you have Spider-Man and Batman and Wonder Woman, and you can't just. There's a story behind all of those. There's a purpose for it. So you can't just say, "Oh, we'll do Rocket Girl and it'll be great." And like I said, yeah, Amy only heard Rocket Girl.
Yeah, I'm not a very good listener. I'm an artist. Words are just meh.
Yeah, pretty much. And then but then that's doesn't really answer the question though, right? So no, but it was reverse engineered from the name and became it. And like Amy said, it was kind of it's cool to do a period piece. It was cool to do something in the '80s, and then the time travel elements came in, and yeah, it came together. I don't even remember like what got us from point 1 to point.
You
finished.
I have no idea what happened because you just kind of did it all in your own head. So
Yeah.
you're the one with the answer to that question.
Beats me.
All of a sudden, he just came back with this really cool idea, and I was like, well, that's a pretty good story, and it's very zeitgeisty since this is the decade that all those 80s movies that were set in the future, they all happened in this decade, like
Right.
Akira and Back to the Future Part 2 and Blade Runner. So it just made sense to make a movie like that now.
Yeah, and the cool part about it, and Amy should, is really entirely her contributions. That maybe 75% of the book takes place in the 80s, but the other 25% takes place in the future, which is today.
The 80s future.
Yeah, so it's not just this weird futuristic jetpack, laser beam future. It really is an
It's in the
yeah.
80s imagination of what would have happened without making it too campy. Like, we don't really make fun of it or anything. It's like the true love of the 80s. So I draw both the 80s and then like this 80s mindset of what would be awesome.
Yeah, the future design isn't maybe how you would do it today, but how Amy pretends. If I was drawing a book about the future in the 80s, what would it look like?
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool too because what I like is that narratively speaking, every time you guys are in the future, you refer to it as the past. What I think is really funny because it makes sense. It's her past, so it does go with it. But I also like that in this weird future, the cops are all teenagers, what I think is a really fun, weird spin because you don't really see that. You don't I like this idea that
You only see it in 80s movies, right? And
But I like that. I think it's really cool that it goes with that whole youth is like pure and like you can't really trust like adults. It's very like I think it's cool because it resonates with like a younger audience in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's resonates maybe with a younger audience. I hope so, all audiences, but also very much. I don't know if it comes through, and I don't know if Amy clocks this as much, but what it's like to remembering what it was like to be young is kind of part of it also. Yeah, you think of kids as not. A lot of times they get the rap of being, they don't obey the rules and they break everything else. No, a lot of times teenagers, they're the ones who see the world in black and white because they haven't really lived and they haven't experienced things that say, oh my God, nothing is so simple. For Rocket Girl, everything is simple. There's right and there's wrong, and there's only one thing to do. And that's kind of the conflict. That's really what I think. When you sit down and you read all 7 issues and now number 8, you start to hopefully come through that is her worldview that is so polarized correct? There's only good and there's only evil, and it's adults who start saying, well, what about this? What about that? That's kind of a conflict that I always hope kind of shines through.
Well, cool. Now with Rocket Girl, I mean, you guys, this is issue 8. You said that you have 9, 10 ready and they're done and they're coming out now. It's back on a monthly schedule for these issues. So 8, 9, 10 will be out. Do you have grander plans for the series? I mean, did you even imagine that it would last for this long when you were initially? I mean, probably because you came up with it off of a name. Did you ever think that it would become like a full-fledged book like this?
I mean, like, I tend to think big. So, I mean, we did kind of plan for it, and luckily since it's an image book, like, it takes a bit more to be canceled by Image, I would say, because, we're paying for it mostly. So, so it's like less of a cost to them, but yeah, like, it's been pretty cool to be able to have it go on this long. We originally planned for it to be 5 issues, and then we decided to take that original arc and stretch it to 10 and really just make it, like, flesh it out, make it something that really means something to people. So actually that's part of why we're so excited about returning and like finishing to issue 10.
Yeah, it's not just, we have the next couple of issues, which is great, and it's nice to be, so everyone knows that's going to come out on the first Wednesday of every month. But it's also that, 10 was kind of how we envisioned the story when we first really knew what we wanted to say. Like I said, we started at 5, then we're able to do 10 to really get what we wanted to. And that's what we're focused on right now, and that takes us through the next few issues. And then time travel stories, like I said, people always come back. But right now the focus is, like I said, here it is, and here's a story that we've been trying to tell, not just for these 3 issues, but for all 10, and really going back a couple of years. That's been important to us.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Now, of course, with this isn't, the only thing. You've got another girl in your life. You guys, of course, with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Right.
That book has been super fun and really cool. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, in my defense, it was just Devil Dinosaur when it started. So I was not going to do Moon Girl and Rocket Girl and Thunder Girl.
Oh, true. Well, and I've done Batwoman and Supergirl and Madam Xanadu.
Yeah, but you're a girl, so it's okay.
The next girl I do can't have girl or woman in it, or Ms. this.
What about Lass? I know that there's a lot of lasses out there.
None of those.
No lasses.
Nen. Or Ella. Anyways.
Oh, God.
What were we talking about?
Well, telling people a bit about, like,
Moon Girl.
Oh, yeah. So she is a kid genius who accidentally brings Devil Dinosaur into present day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I've just thrown Devil Dinosaur out there like everybody knows it. That was an old Jack Kirby creation that only lasted 9 issues in the 70s, and he pops up in Marvel every once in a while, but Marvel wanted us to do. It was very nice. Mark Panicia at Marvel and Emily Shaw at the time and Son of Amanat said, hey, we like what you do on Rocket Girl, so why don't you try to come up with something like that for Marvel? And it started out as just kind of Devil Dinosaur, but you can give her a companion and do all these different kind of twists and turns on it. So it became Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl, which then became Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And all due respect to the big red Tyrannosaurus Rex, I think most people only care about Moon Girl. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and it's really cool because, of course, I know that right now a lot of people are focusing on a lot of Jack Kirby creations because
it's 100th
centennial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool because you've been working on one of the Kirby creations that's actually been able to sustain a series. A lot of Kirby creations kind of, I mean, of course, there's the classics, Captain America, X-Men, stuff like that.
Right.
But kind of these weirder, quirkier ones, it's cool because you've got an actual dedicated run on it, and not a lot of people have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud that, I goof and say, oh, when we hit issue 9, when we hit issue 10, oh, we beat Kirby. When 18, oh, we doubled him and everything else. I'm really proud of the book, though, that it elevated the character that was supposed to be the crutch. It was supposed to be like, well, Devil Dinosaur might have some fans. I don't know if we thought we were going to do more than 5 or 10 issues of that, even. 2 arcs would have been pretty lucky, I think, to get past it. But that it elevated Devil Dinosaur and kind of brought that character back is fantastic. And I'm certainly not trying to say that I'm Jack Kirby. It was cool. No, but it was just great to be able to do it because. And it's a very different book, but there's a lot of little Jack Kirby moments in there too. So.
Well, it's fun too because now the character of Moon Girl has kind of expanded beyond just what was initially created. Of course, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur are now featured in the Secret Warriors book, and last year they were featured quite prominently in Inhumans vs. X-Men. So that's
Right.
pretty cool to kind of see that grow and become a little bit of something more. I mean, I think it's really great because it's also. It's a different character type, a different type of book than you normally see from Marvel.
Right.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. Definitely our tone is pretty interesting because we do it in an earnest way, like it's not slapstick, but it is really funny. And there's a lot of just kind of, and this is really a lot to Brandon's credit, the tone of the book, I'd say, is very, it's very lighthearted. It doesn't worry too much about what reality would be, because it is a kid running around with a dinosaur in the Lower East Side.
Yeah. In fairness, in a universe with guys in red underwear fighting guys in blue
Oh no,
underwear.
that's totally true. But I think sometimes there's this prefixation on or fixation, not prefixation.
I like the word prefixation. I'm trying to think what it means so I can use it sometime, like prefixation.
Well, that's just a long story that's boring. But anyway, so it's a fixation on this idea of making things feel more believable. But yeah, we kind of keep in mind that it all is pretty ridiculous in an awesome way.
Yeah, well, like I said, Amy's designed the character. Natasha Bustos does all the interiors. So much of it, you can talk about earnestness, and I obviously appreciate Amy giving me credit, but so much of it is of a tone does come through in the visuals and does come through in the storytelling.
Yeah.
Where it's like I just give people the room to do that, but it really is kind of an approach where everyone's on the same page, and it's not afraid to be what it is. I don't try, that doesn't make any excuses for kind of being a fun, all ages book, and but there's real things that happen in it. So.
Natasha's done all but 3 issues at this point?
I want to say 2. Has it been 3?
I don't know.
2. I think all but 2
Only
issues.
2 that I
Yeah.
know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
There's another fill-in coming, and I always
Yeah.
wondering, has that been out yet or something?
I really feel like she's a major part of our success with the book.
Yeah.
And
Natasha could have done all the issues. It was always, just a combination of factors where we didn't quite know what we were doing, what's the next arc, what's going on, and that kind of would eat up some time where it's like, okay, let's get someone to come in.
Yeah, give her a little bit of a break. But I think that, she has really been such an integral part to the book, and I feel like she creates that look of the book. Her and Tamara Bonvillain, who draws colors the book. So.
But Marvel's been super behind it, like you said, putting her in other books. Marvel did have to approve our idea to make her the smartest character
Her
in the
meaning
Marvel
Moon Girl.
universe. Yeah, what I said.
Well, we were talking about it.
Making sure.
Oh
it's
no,
not
I'm
the
talking. Yeah,
Devil
no, I'm
Dinosaur.
talking. Yeah, I'm not talking about Devil Dinosaur, nor Tamara, nor Natasha. No, so Marvel really has been behind it. They really believed in it. It was a book that needed to be. It's built up its audience now. A lot of that it's in the trade paperback form, and it's available in the kids' book fairs and stuff like that. But Marvel really did have to stick with it through a period, and they believed in it. And in putting her in a key role in Humans vs. X-Men, having her in other books, she's popping up in a lot of places. Sometimes it's a surprise to me that I see her going out there. But not just that she's in the video games, that there's other plans for her and everything else. That when you see the big legacy poster and it's Captain America and it's Hulk and it's all the characters and that she's in it. That's actually pretty cool to see her in an Alex Ross painting. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
She's in an Alex Ross painting?
That's it, man. Yeah, there
She
you go.
is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to find that. That's awesome.
No, it's a big team shot, and then she's in it also.
Well, I'm really
Yeah.
curious how he chose to draw her.
Yeah, well, you gotta take a look.
I feel like we need to start making like some way to spread the word that Moon Girl's supposed to be just a little bit chubby, you know?
Yeah.
Like not like a
true.
stick skinny kid.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is really cool about Moon Girl is that
Amy's very protective of her design.
I know. I'm just like.
Well, I love that she's, that she's a young character and that she's a young black woman who's like, I mean, she's the smartest person on the planet is like, how old is she? 13?
Mm-hmm.
She's 9. Yeah.
Or yeah.
I thought she was. Oh,
She's
she was in
9.
middle school when she was sent up. Yes, but that's an amazing thing. I think that's such a powerful message that I think is really cool to see that that's something that isn't offered anywhere else, and I feel like that can't help but, I don't know if it's maybe direct, but with other characters such as Riri Williams coming around afterwards, like I can't help but feel like Lunella kind of set that stage.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice to think.
Yeah, Bendis has certainly has created a lot of great characters.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm guessing that you say, because when you see Riri Williams comes, you get a little nervous because that's a little kind of what our character is there going to be a conflict? I'm guessing, Bendis doesn't care. He's just creating characters out there, so it's coincidental. But there is really a need to have different types of characters, and Moon Girl was going to be a new character, right? So you could make her anything you want it to be. So when Amy and I kind of created it, and then bringing in Natasha to really bring it to life, it's like, I think all of us go into it with trying to create a character that's maybe balances out the Marvel universe a little more.
Mm.
Now you've got Moon Girl, you've got Rocket Girl. You don't want any more girls.
Yeah.
You want other things. Are there any things that are you got an itch for? Any maybe cool property or cool stories you guys got on the back burner that you're pursuing?
I personally hold those close to my heart because you just get so paranoid, you just don't want something to be stolen.
That's why,
I think it's like inevitably when you tell stories and stuff, you've always got all these characters that you're just itching to draw and hoping that you get the opportunity to soon.
Mm-hmm.
So those are in the brain and developing and all that stuff.
that's very true, but maybe you can give a fun answer to it. It's right. So it's,
Okay,
as far,
sorry.
yeah, no, it's all right. But as far as it's great. Characters that I would never work on, but I would totally work on it. It's like, wouldn't the Wonder Twins be pretty cool? Like, why aren't they in continuity? People always goof on Aquaman, right? And I don't know how that started, but no one takes Aquaman serious. To me, like if you watch the Super Friends, Aquaman was Batman, Superman, Batman, and it's actually Superman, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, and I would argue that Aquaman's the 5th most popular character because there were a lot of guys on Super Friends, but I think everybody liked Aquaman when they were kids. But Wonder Twins, everybody knows them because they all remember the old cartoon, and they should be in continuity, I think.
I don't know the Wonder Twins.
Well, there you go.
But
So
I didn't see the cartoon.
how could you have seen the cartoon and not know the Zan and Jane of the Wonder
I said,
Twins?
but I didn't
I
see the cartoon.
So if you had to pick somebody who you're never going to work on.
No, he was asking about new characters
Oh, was he?
on our mind.
Well, either or.
I thought he was talking about working on characters that we wanted to, property.
So Wonder Twins. That's the next project that's going to go from
Mine's Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised.
Okay.
Now
is it like a Poison Ivy like in the lead? Poison Ivy being evil? I mean, she kind of toes that line.
Yeah, or do you just want to draw like plants and vines and stuff?
it would be in the lead probably, but it's mostly just that I want to develop her as a plant thing. I think that there's a lot of material there, so I always have story ideas that would be good for, or cool designs that would be good for Poison Ivy. So maybe one day.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd do Man Thing. That'd be pretty cool.
I would has there been a Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy yet?
I'm sure, right? There must
Like
have
a
been.
romance between the two?
A romance.
Because I think there should be a romance.
Actually it was the Floronic
like
Man,
a
but
legit romance too, where she loves him.
Okay.
Anyways.
that's the Floronic Man, but Amy's not Amy's a fake fan, so.
I think does Floronic Man look all weird, like
Yeah.
Swamp Thing?
Well,
Doesn't he have like mushrooms growing on
yeah,
him and stuff?
yeah. Once he was human, and then he started getting weird. He's more like a tree than a bush, if that makes any sense.
Who? Which one?
Floronic Man.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, now we've got the scoop. We know what to keep an eye out for. See you at a con. Get Poison Ivy commissioned.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
looking for your opportunity to tackle her.
Well, if you do, ask me to do it my way, because sometimes I just do it the way I think you want. So if you want me to do a redesign, just say that.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you both for stopping by.
Yeah.
Rocket Girl is super awesome, and issue 8 is now out. 9 will be out in September, first week September.
Yep.
So it'll be coming soon, and you've got more material to look forward to. You guys can pick up. There's plenty of trades in Moon Girl, Dinosaur. I think there's 3 trades.
3
now?
trades out
Yeah.
already. Yeah.
Yeah. So swing on by any of our stores. You can check out the books, and you can
That's right.
check out plenty of amazing books from Amy Reeder and Brandon Montclare.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Bye, guys.